October 17th, 2022, Halfcast 362, episode 362, let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Missouri police ignored black community's warnings of serial killer until woman escaped basement dungeon. The biggest takeaway from the Dahmer story should have been the police's failure to properly investigate crimes against minorities. And this is what we're seeing here today. This man was not apprehended through solid police work. He was only apprehended through a mistake of his own making and this woman's will to stay alive. Leaders in a Kansas City black community say local police dismissed their worries that a serial killer was preying on young black women until it was too late. On October 7th, a 22-year-old black woman escaped from a house in nearby Excelsior Springs, Missouri, where she said she was kidnapped, raped, whipped, and held in shackles for days by a man who killed two of her friends, according to black news site the Kansas City Defender. Her name has not been released to protect her privacy. Police arrested Timothy Hazlitt Jr., a 39-year-old white man, the same day. He has been charged with first-degree rape, first-degree kidnapping, and second-degree assault, to which he has pleaded not guilty. Local leaders say the woman described in police documents with the initials TJ was put in harm's way because the police didn't take their claims seriously. One of the most important tools in an investigator's bag is the ability to work with the community to gather information. So if you have zero leads and you're turning away help from legitimately concerned citizens, you're not really detecting shit, are you? You might as well hang an out to lunch sign on the door. These were not people looking to hinder the investigation or muddy the waters in any type of way. We're talking about concerned parents who wanted to see you get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible. In September, the Defender posted a video warning of a Kansas City killer targeting black women in the area of Prospect Avenue. It went viral, racking up nearly 70,000 retweets and more than 105,000 likes on various platforms. At the time, police called the claims completely unfounded. There is no basis to support this rumor, the KCPD told the Kansas City Star. They were absolutely lost, puzzled, and bamboozled on this case and didn't know where to start. How the hell would they know if it's a rumor or not? Bishop Tony Caldwell, whose warnings form the basis of the Defender video, told the site on Friday that the police had failed. We get a lot of information because we're right on the street level, he said. A lot of times we are even trying to give the police information so they can act on it because the people in the street don't trust them. And now we can see that's rightfully so. Bang. The families are heartbroken. And now they are even more mad because something could have been done back then, he added. There's a possibility their loved ones could have been saved if folks would have acted back when our community was first making these reports instead of waiting for the young lady to escape. Shout out to that young lady who's unnamed. Because in saving her life and getting the message out, she saved we don't know how many more young black women. The Kansas City police have stood by their previous denunciation, arguing that at the time the allegations were made, there was no evidence of a serial killer on the loose. What was he supposed to leave you? A note? A letter of introduction? TJ's horrific claims against Timothy Hazlitt may only be the beginning. There is definitely a possibility that he had more victims. Per arrest documents, the 39-year-old allegedly kept TJ in a basement room that he built, holding her chained in handcuffs on her wrists and ankles. She showed injuries on her back consistent with someone who was whipped. Actually building areas of confinement does not sound like someone who's just starting out and who's trying to get it right. This sounds like the work of someone who's figured a few things out along the way. Police say she managed to escape when her captor left to drop his son off at school. You got a whole child living in the house with you while you're doing this. And the neighbors found her barefoot, wearing latex lingerie and a homemade padlock with duct tape around her mouth. I could see immediately she was in desperate trouble. She looked like something out of a horror movie. Lisa Johnson, who found TJ on her front steps, told the Daily Mail, "What's terrifying is this man was hiding in plain sight with a child and neighbors and everything right up under everyone's noses doing this." The terrorized woman told police she had been picked up in September in the area around Prospect Avenue, the same time frame and location figures like Bishop Caldwell had been warning police about. She also said she'd been picked up with two friends who she claims Timothy Hazlitt killed. Police are now investigating whether there are more victims. Next up, former USPS mail carrier threatened to shoot up post office if he didn't get unemployment benefits. Pay me what you owe me. Don't act like you forgot. A former U.S. Postal Service mail carrier with a violent past. It sounds like the trailer to a horrible movie threatened to go postal and shoot several people if he didn't get unemployment benefits, federal prosecutors allege. Oh, there are a lot of epic fails in this story, but let's touch on one because your employer cannot stop you from getting unemployment benefits. You tell your side of the story, the employer tells their side of the story, and the Department of Labor makes a determination on whether you're eligible or ineligible. Quadri Garnes, a registered sex offender from Brooklyn who served time for a 1994 attempted rape conviction, faces federal charges after he exploded over the phone September 29th at two state labor department workers, threatening to shoot up a post office and kill several people. I told you there were a lot of fails. I applaud the professionalism of the state labor department because me personally, I would have put his dumb ass on hold and went to lunch. Grilled salmon and a chef salad. And you think these type of calls aren't the reason why we're outsourcing to a call center in a different country somewhere, dealing with these type of kooks? Garnes, 46, used to work at the Homecrest Station Post Office in Brooklyn, according to a federal complaint. Though it's not clear how his job ended there, I can imagine a couple ways. Was it his sunny disposition or just the rapey vibe that came in behind him every time he entered the room? He called the labor department looking for benefits associated with that job, according to federal prosecutors. I can't get what I work for, so I have to go to the post office and shoot up the post office, right? He said during the phone call, according to a criminal complaint later asking, does this city want me to kill 5 or 6 people because I can't pay the rent? That energy would have been completely wasted on Raja Patel on the other line, straight out of New Delhi, India. I'm just saying. He also threatened to shoot people outside the downtown Brooklyn office of the Department of Labor. Prosecutors allege somebody might get shot today coming out of the Department of Labor, he said. According to prosecutors, Garnes said he knew his call was being recorded, according to the complaint. And I am putting this out there because I know this is recorded, because if I was to do something like that, at least when they start going through the records, they know why it was done. He is accused of saying, just remember my name. You might see it on TV tonight. He continued, according to court papers. I'm not going to remember him as someone who stood up to the man and went out in a blaze of glory. I'm going to remember him as an attempted rapist. Which I wouldn't have known if he wouldn't have pulled this stupid shit. Garnes has served 3 separate stints in state prison, gonna be 4, including time for attempted rape and sexual abuse in 1994, attempted burglary in 1998, and attempted weapons possession in 2004. He was also featured in a 2009 episode of the A&E reality series Manhunters Fugitive Task Force. I'm surprised they didn't have Dog the Bounty Hunter on him, which depicted a U.S. Marshal squad hunting him in Brooklyn and arresting him for violating his parole and failing to register as a sex offender. Carries guns, likes to fight cops. This guy does a little bit of everything, so he's unpredictable. The officers on the show say in one clip. He was most recently released in 2012 after serving out the remainder of his 3-year prison sentence for his 2004 weapon conviction. Garnes, who was arrested Thursday, was ordered held without bail by a Brooklyn federal court magistrate judge Friday. He's been in and out of trouble so many times, we don't even know if he's put in enough time or put enough money into the system for him to be even eligible to collect. Next up. Man threatens Walmart employee after he stopped playing video games with him, feds say. You heard right, people. Man, as in grown adult, a Texas man is going to prison after threatening to kill a Walmart employee. Isn't life rough enough without the death threats he used to play online video games with, according to federal authorities? If you wanted a friend, all you had to do was say so. If you're lonely, just say that then. In his plea agreement signed earlier this year, 26-year-old Rogelio Salas Jr. admitted he called a Walmart store in McCook, Nebraska on January 8th and made a specific threat to kill a specific employee. He implied he was in the parking lot with a rifle and explosives. At the very grown age of 26 years old, his ass should have been at work his damn self. Your boy is where he's supposed to be. The Westlaco, Texas man made more threatening calls that day, and on January 9th, too much time on your hands, according to the plea agreement. Authorities said all Walmart employees and customers were evacuated following the threats. The targeted employee recognized the caller's voice as they had played video games with each other. Prosecutors said authorities learned Salas Jr. began to threaten and harass the employee after he refused to continue playing video games with them, according to an October 14th news release from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Nebraska. You know why we never had this problem? We had girls. More importantly, we had outside and we had actual social interaction. The defense attorney representing Salas Jr. did not immediately respond to a request for comment from McClatchy News on October 17th. The defendant told the worker that he will burn in hell for being a homosexual. What does that have to do with anything? According to the plea agreement, the worker said Salas Jr.'s anger toward him began after learning he was homosexual. And with that, we can tell this guy is miserable. This guy is lonely, and most likely people do not want to be around him in real life, because why would someone's sexual preference make a difference? You're just playing games online. That's it. That was probably the closest thing to a friend that he had all the way up to this point. Salas Jr. then started contacting him on social media and learned he worked at the Walmart in Southwest Nebraska, authorities said. In one of the calls to the employee's personal phone, the Texas man told him, "You're a dead man." According to the plea agreement, phone records obtained by police show Salas Jr. dialed *67 in attempt, that shit still works, in attempt to call Walmart anonymously. Salas Jr. pleaded guilty to transmitting threats in interstate commerce. He was sentenced to 33 months in prison. You'll make a lot of friends in prison, buddy, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Judge John M. Gerard noted the disturbing frequency of threat cases coming before him recently and issued the sentence in part because of the fear that the defendant caused in all of the individuals at the Walmart store that day, and because it was all unnecessarily done over a video game dispute, according to the news release. Basically, the judge told him, you're wasting the state's time, you're wasting the court's time, and you're wasting my time over some video game bullshit. Get a life, but not until you do 33 months. Fun show. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up. but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Adios.